art of coaching and coaxing, the presence of being. Where last left off, we were being taught whom thou art and how to bring that artist into being via the vicarious stave inge. Now one is beckoned to deepen those teachings from a standpoint of thankfulness and service, seeing it as a legacy, yea, an inheritance, for the lessons do indeed tap into matters of estate, the orderliness of affairs, and an awareness of lineage as embodied within this lunar bi-week stave, OTHILA. From 5:29 to 6:14. One is being asked, turn to and call upon thine ancestors as far back as mind's eye can see from meditative or shamanic perspective, aka one's very own self-induced point of view. This is a prerequisite need in order to organize and receive vital instruction from one's past, most broadly speaking, so that one is more fully prepared for moving forward from here with sustainable momentum, right on, or just in time, for the upcoming summer solstice, in timely fashion of its cyclical occurrence, which gives rhyme to reason to this part of the season, since said turning points association sits squarely with the balancing of day and night, attributable to the connotations of light and clarity, as given or made possible by our venerable sun's illumination. In a coconut shell, just the very time to have all eyes wide open, including those in the back of the head, no less, as oft heard said by teachers. Plus, the third eye, of course, all of which everybody invariably has innately anyway. Hence, the necessity of having to do own due diligence and homework, tentatively speaking, whilst also convening with those with whom one hath descended from presently. And as always, at least that's the unyielding yearly pattern of dearly beloved Mother Nature's curriculum, as if you haven't noticed by now, it just so happens to portend drastic endings, with the obliteration of extremes following upon the heels of the same, in mind, body, and spirit. Akin to begin marking the start of our sun's metaphorical demise, ending or setting again, as always again and again, so to anthropologically and astrophysically speak. Speaking of which, hence leading to winter's solstice, marking its beginning again then, or the sun's triumphant return to pagan and Viking alike. In fact, both these major events represent immense crossroads in the life of living appropriately enough. No wonder so many cultures across the globe in time have and continue to celebrate that great ball of fire. It's freaking amazing. And yet predictable. Well, because it is. Or duh. In the preceding meantime, concentrate on maintaining orderliness and completing closure with squinted sight, as in other words, with piercing eyes of determination. For this period upon the Elder Firthark's calendarization represents the twilight space and time to wheel and deal with deceased kin, however shrewdly and yet with utter kindness and respect. The central focus being one's attachment to clan, with the concept of connectedness at the fore. One's behavior and whatever affects family is both deeply personal and a reflection of self. So take one's code of conduct seriously, certainly not lightly. Likewise, wise, in regards to protecting those bonds as a precautionary measure, lest there be lasting implications for own being, relatives, and or progeny, alas, lasting until the luminous energy fields be healed again. In modern parlance, that's the what you call having and keeping integrity. Sadly, few exercise same, let alone have a clue, if not, or at least pretend to. Which of them art thou? The quality of this pre-dusk time being is of both inner and outer realms, of that which is known and that which is beyond boundary of what is currently known, as in as familiar is foreign and as domesticated is to wild, and vice versa speaking as well. In the same way that the art of searching for and seeking to find its tribe was a challenge to enter uncharted territory, waters, see 518's post, the present days and weeks ahead demand understanding one's personal sparkle and twinkling in all its breadth, depth, and glory, where one is natively fed and where not, and at what junction and or junction is it worth leaving the nest or well-trodden path, and take the trails less traveled by into the untamed wilderness or towards the unknown, whence one loses their innocence, yes, and yet gains enlightenment or illumination in the process too. See? Again, 'tis part and parcel of nature's school of hard knocks, wherein that which doesn't kill you, if exercised or excised properly, merely serves to make one stronger and more robust. And it's not just about the legacy one is left with. Emphasis should also be upon the legacy one leaves. How can one ever know, let alone move humanity forward, without adventuring out into the wild blue yonder for self, sort of astral projection? Even then again, as those above know is so below to those here in the know, mental, physical, and spiritual growth and development only happens whilst embodied on the material plane. All other experiences are but discarnate sojourns or spheres of reflection, review, and or reconstitution. Then again, there's also a certain somberness which goes along with all of this and that, getting in touch with the ancestors, bequeathing, death and dying, etc., where given teachings that lead to lessons learned up to this here transitional point have the power to bring profound meaning and vivid insight into one's life and way of living, not to mention some semblance to thine future. Yet another or other aspects pertaining to the present time being is and or are a and or the nomadic mindset, warrior spirit, and shamanic or self-actualized mentality, all of which entail self-struggle and sacrifice of due course in order to procure practical knowledge into the constraints and rules determining one's destiny and fate, including becoming intimately familiar with the very laws of Mother Nature herself. Alas, those are aspects one is utterly powerless to change, although that's the very empowerment of beholding or seeing the patterns of hind to foresight into ye tapestry of threads, weaving their collective ways and yea, personal potentials into the fabric of life. Some needles and threads of which one controls, of course, while others one doesn't. Suffice to redundantly and rhetorically say, it's all part and parcel of Mother Nature's given lesson plan, or curriculum vitae, with an organic rubric seamlessly built into Her Majesty's flawless system. Bow, but never give up or give in, just because, or when, one realizes natural law is incapable of being altered an iota, and only bent so much before breaking. Instead, become as a guide unto others, so they don't have to suffer and or go through such hardship or hard times not knowing what for or why without a heads up, game plan, map, or contingency, for consider what sacrifices was and or were made in order to be here now. Likewise, what sacrifices one is willing to make towards where one desires to go. Easier said than done, one may conceivably, if not typically say, but please, don't give me that lame-ass bullshit defeatist attitude. Phooey. It just means whatever one does, do so decidedly, knowing the effort to be worth yours and others' whiles. As in, prepare the way, confidently. See? And such is the level of accountability and accounting presently required, as in the prerequisites. For come summer solstice, that's when things really get fun, or rather funny, ultimately bringing a and or the cacophony of initiations, at the heart of which is ample opportunity to stand at the center of oneself and all things, drawing from work done with one's ancestors and the wisdom garnered and gleaned from the soon to be fading rays of sunshine, beaming, mining what gives life and living most meaning and purpose. Heavy shit to be sure, though no more or less burdensome than one has borne every single other year before, in some way, shape, fashion, and or form. How easily we forget, silly humans. Shit. With such rabid short-term memory loss, one think the whole fucking world was stoned out of their gourds, or under some kind of mind control. My money's on the latter. It's a sad but sure bet. Oddly, though, one's odds are best when not trying. Or haven't you realized that about what it means to let go and let life take its natural course, either? But that's the beauty of the universe's built-in default setting, aka the placebo effect, or its doppelganger, widely known as dumb luck. Then again, one of many reasons why ignorance is sometimes considered bliss. However, don't bank on it. Nevertheless, and regardless of this, the next couple of weeks will be framed in challenging company, in action and deed. To be sure. So live in the present moment, most fiercely, yea, not as an adversary or a stubborn squatter, rather as an advocate and worthy tenant or guide and or example of and or for same. All's one needs is yourself. Never ever lose touch with it. 'Tis all we really got and get to go or row by, as invariably as life is but a dream. OTHILA.